Midnight is coming and every single class is getting pruned so hard you're not sure if you even need a keyboard anymore. Today I will give you the top 5 melee DPS specs to look forward to, whether it's a spec you always wanted to try out but thought the rotation was just too intimidating, or something just completely new that can take you by surprise. Starting off with number 5, we have Feral Druid, a long-standing melee DPS with a very passionate player base that belongs to the category of I kinda want to give it a try, but I heard there's this snapshotting thing and I'm against guns and snapping, so not too sure. For all of you aspiring kittens out there, let me set your mind at ease. Blood Talents is gone, snapshotting isn't, but it's way easier to do and you don't need any add-ons to play it. Feral now has a unique mechanic where if a bleed you would apply would be stronger, aka snapshotted, which happens only during Tiger's Fury right now, it will show up with an improved icon to signify that it's juiced up. More than that, once you apply it, you can see the juiced icon on your target's frame as well to let you know a current strong bleed is rolling on it, so maybe don't cast it again if it's not the strong version of the bleed. And this is to say, if you care and want to actually keep your bleeds optimized. Although that is a decent part of skill expression and bigger damage output, the overall kit for Feral has been simplified where if you just play normally, you will be fine 9 times out of 10. You also have fewer things to juggle and have to track, where the main gameplay right now is just build combo points and spend them on Rip or Primal Wrath if your enemies need bleeds on them, or Ferocious Bite otherwise. One of my personal favorite things about Feral, which isn't new with Midnight but definitely underrated, is the passive 30% movement speed from just being a cat. If you are the kind of person that moves a lot to make sure you are behind your target, to avoid frontals or your attacks being parried, or just to feel like you are away from all the danger, this small thing makes the gameplay feel so smooth, you guys. I'm sure at one point your tank has run away with bosses or enemies because reason X, and you had to dodge a puddle or start chasing and ended up losing damage because you were just not hitting your target. Well, forget all of that, because with 30% movement speed, you'll always be exactly where you want to. And if you need even more mobility, Wild Charge and Dash are still part of your kit. With Feral being simplified, having a smooth rotation in gameplay, there never has been a better time to give it a try. The next, and possibly the best spec to try out from the "this seems too complicated for me" bucket, is Enhancement Shaman. But also a quick reminder, a quick like and a subscribe would mean a lot to us if you're enjoying this video. It helps the channel to get bigger and better so that we can make videos that are bigger and better. And if you want to support us even more, consider giving our Patreon a quick look. They directly sponsor this video and helps us make more videos for you in the future. Thank you and enjoy the rest of this list. Enhancement is probably the best example of a spec being simplified, or pruned as people like to say these days. Taking away the piano spec characteristics it has right now on live and still retaining the badassery and cool rotational gameplay. It goes from having multiple bars of buttons to fit in your moment-to-moment rotation to barely filling one bar. It went from tracking 2 to 3 buffs, 2 to 3 procs, 2 to 3 hero talents and tier set interactions to just your Tempest, Surging Totem, and main offensive cooldown. Whether it's Doom Winds or Ascendance, since now they both become one button in Midnight. Enhancement concept is simple. If the button glows, that's where your finger goes. The spec has drastically lowered its barrier of entry and somehow still managed to remain one of the most fun and spectacular DPSs in the game. Add to this the awesome Shaman utility with a plethora of totems, and you will never get bored or overwhelmed playing Enhancement in the next expansion. Number 3 on our list is a very polarizing spec that has gone through more reworks than you go through pairs of socks in a week. As in, I hope a lot, cause yeah. Survival Hunter still struggles in its journey to figure out what exactly it is trying to do. Are you a melee slashing DPS spec with a spear and a blood-crazed pet? How about dual-wielding axes like Rexar? Or are you a semi-ranged hunter spec with big explosive and a fat shotgun aptly named Boomstick? Yes to all of that and so much more. This new version of Survival feels like it has something for everyone, and if you still think you misheard, I did in fact say you can dual-wield axes. Well, probably more than just axes, but fundamentally, one-handers are back on the menu, boys, and the hunter meme of every weapon is a hunter weapon is slowly rising from the ashes like a glorious, majestic, entitled phoenix that created an intense hatred from all of the non-hunters. And I say, fuck them. You are literally the embodiment of a video game experience. From fast leaping combat where you hack and slash at your enemies, to a generous and equal opportunity bullet dispenser, to a Michael Bay enthusiast where even the Transformers will be looking at your rotation and say,
"Aren't those too many explosions?"
And if all of this sounds overwhelming, you clearly haven't played Survival lately. The level of complexity is about Retribution Paladin, where if the button is available and you are not wasting a resource by pressing it, the only correct choice is to press it. And press it hard. Press it like it owes you money and watch the world burn around you, because nothing says midlife crisis more than a class identity crisis conveniently hidden beneath metric tons of napalm and lead. Survival Hunter, when the question arises, what do you want more? Shotguns? Bombs? Blood? Spears? Axes or rabid beasts to sick on your enemies? Your only answer is yes. Taking a step back from the crazy, let's talk about number 2, which today will be Assassination Rogue. It's no secret Rogue is in a weird state at the moment, and you love Rogue. You love it so much you already planned your housing bedroom with 7 paintings of Valera, only because you love rogues and nothing else, of course. But what to do in this world of outlaw being bugged, where you never know if your ability works, or subtlety that actually have no idea what subtlety is supposed to be, if it's going anywhere, or even if it is a real spec. Let me introduce you to the one spec that still retains what Rogue is and what an assassin should feel like. Pun intended. The new kit Assassination has been slapped with has never made it cooler to play. From the heavy investment into poisons with easy to apply caustic spatter, poisonous bombs blowing up in your enemies' faces, envenoms to take them down, or even shift into a bleed playstyle where now your Crimson Tempest spreads bleeds from your target to everyone else without you needing to bribe your tank to stealth for you in a dungeon. Don't like being energy starved? We got you. Energy regeneration for days. Not enough combo points? Solved. Hero talents feeling weird and clunky? Not anymore. Be the master of bleeds, dots, and big finisher moves. If the cat is not enough pokey daggery fun for you, Assassination is definitely the rogue winner for midnight. And since that's not a high standard to meet these days, it surprisingly solved a lot of issues new and old players were fearing, to the point of being one of the most fun melee experiences you can have. And here we go! There's no real winner for these, since all 5 melee specs are dope, but if there was, and I'm not saying there is, but if there was, it would have to be the new Unholy Death Knight. Ever wanted to just be a necromancer, but feared it would never happen unless you played one of those funky private servers? Unholy! Ever wanted not to be forced to track weird-ass things like wounds and stacks of a buff that sometimes you get, sometimes it goes away together with your enjoyment? Unholy! Ever wanted to feel like the next coming of Ebola, of the Black Plague, of AIDS, of COVID? Ever wanted to have diseases be a central and meaningful part of your gameplay that doesn't force you into add-ons left and right? Unholy! The recent changes the spec has gotten made it even better and legitimately fun from the video that we initially made about it, where I actually was worried it would be too basic. Being able to constantly summon ghouls and send them into an explosive death of glorious DPS dopamine. or even frenzying them up so hard they go apeshit on your enemies. Just makes me feel like home, to be honest. Some people enjoy the coziness of a fireplace during a cold winter and tough times outside with war and suffering. Others are the war, but in the video game kind, where not even death will stop you from getting that fat shiny loot. Actually, death is preferred with the new Unholy because otherwise you wouldn't have good little ghouly boys to keep your enemies busy while you pretend your rotation requires finesse and expertise. It doesn't. Why bother with complex nonsense of, "Are you min-maxing your DPS, bro?" when you can just shut out all of that noise with the soothing ambience of guttural sounds of long dead soldiers struggling to ask you for mercy as you send them to their doom. I may have a problem and in need of therapy. Unless I'm playing Unholy, in which case that problem swiftly converts into class fantasy. Unholy Death Knight, where your darkest dreams are just your new rotation. If these 5 didn't convince you yet, we have a full tier list ranking all melee specs in the game in the upcoming expansion. Check it out and see if any other sparks your interest because Midnight is starting to cook hard.